Hi, fifth graders. Today's topics are going to revolve around dividing whole numbers by unit fractions, dividing fractions by whole numbers, dividing whole numbers by fractions again, and dividing two fractions. So, before we start on anything, when we're dividing fractions, with anything with fractions, the number on the left side, right here, the number on the left side, right here, will always stay the same. So we don't change it. The only thing we'll change is, so the number on the left side, that's not the proper term. The dividend will always stay the same, but the divisor will always be changed to its reciprocal, and the division sign will always be changed to multiplication. That is how you do division with fractions. So let's do that with number 3. Number 3 gives us 4 divided by 1/4. So in order to do that, I said we leave the dividend alone, which in this case is 4. So I'm going to leave 4 alone. And 4 is the same thing as 4 over 1. And then and then we're going to turn this division sign into multiplication. And then we're going to turn the divisor, in this case 1/4, and we're going to turn it into its reciprocal. So we just flip it around. So instead of 1/4, it's going to be 4 over 1. Now we just follow the property, which is just multiplication. So when we do that, it will be 4 times 4, which is 16. Which is 16 over 1 times 1, which is 1. So it'll be 16 over 1, which is the same thing as 16. So your answer will be 16 for number 3. So when you're dividing, you just need to remember that rule. So your dividend stays the same, division sign turns into multiplication, and the fraction, or the divisor will always be turned into its reciprocal. Now we're going to move on to dividing fractions by whole numbers. So in this case, it's flipped from the previous worksheet. So number 3 gives us 7/12 divided by 8. So 7/12 stays the same, right? Division sign turns into multiplication. And then the reciprocal of 8 is going to be 1/8, because 8 is the same thing as 1 over 8. I'm sorry, let's say it like this, 1 over 8. And then you just flip that over, which is 8 over, 8 is the same thing as 8 over 1, and then when you flip it over, it will be 1 over 8. So from here, we're gonna just multiply across. So 7 times 1 is 7, and 12 times 8 is 96. And 7 over 96 can't be simplified any further, so that'll be your final answer for number 3. One other trick is, after you're done setting up your equation, make sure to look out for anything that can be simplified, cross-simplified, because that will make your life easier. That way, if you have big numbers, you won't have to multiply like large numbers. Now we're going to be dividing whole numbers by fractions again. So number 5 gives us 3 divided by 9 over 10. So once again, 3 stays the same since it's a dividend. And then division sign turns into multiplication. I'm going to put a 1 over 3 under the 3. And then I multiply it by 9 over 10. The reciprocal of that will be 10 over 9. So this is what I'm talking about. When we flip it, we can just multiply across, but then you will have to do more simplification. So it's better to do the simplification right now at this step. So when you're simplifying, you can never simplify across. You can only do a crisscross. So in this case, 1 and 10, you can't simplify anything because they have nothing in common. But 3 and 9 can be simplified because 3 can go into 9 3 times. So 3 turns into 1, and 9 turns into 3. So your new equation will be 1 over 1 times 10 over 9. 10 over 3. And then from here, we will just multiply across. So it's 1 times 10, which is 10. And then 1 times 3, which is 3. So your answer will be 10 over 3. So once again, you need to watch out for being able to simplify, and when you do simplify, you can only do it across. I'm sorry, you can't do it across, you can only do it crisscross. Next, we're going to be dividing two fractions. So we're going to divide a fraction by a fraction. The same rule applies here again. The dividend will stay the same. So for 16, the dividend is 7 over 10. So I'm going to leave it 7 over 10. And then division sign turns into multiplication. And then we just flip it around. We just flip the divisor around, which in this case is a fraction. 5 over 12, it will turn into 12 over 5. Once again, I'm going to make sure that these fractions are not simplifiable. 7 and 5, you can't simplify anything because nothing can go into each other. But 10 and 12, they have a common factor of 2, so I'm going to take that out before I multiply across. So when I take out 2 from 12, I get 6, and when I take out 2 from 10, I get 5. Now with this, I get a new equation of 7 over 5 times 6 over 5. Now I can multiply across. So 7 times 6 is going to be 42. And then 5 times 5 is 25. Now this is an improper fraction, but it's simplified fully. So I could just leave it as an improper fraction. You can always move it into a mixed number, but that'll take more time. So the answer for number 16 would be 42 over 25. And that's all I have for you guys today. Just remember your dividend stays the same, division sign turns into multiplication, and your divisor is turned into its reciprocal, and then multiply across. Bye!